Okay, we got two quick stories. The first story is Laura Loomer. You guys know Laura Loomer, right? Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer is a bigoted activist who is most famous for doing two things. One, calling for a non-Muslim Uber service, meaning an Uber service that like bans Muslims from like participating in it. And two, handcuffing herself to Twitter HQ. And when I say that, I do mean that literally. Laura Loomer, Twitter. Here it is. So what she decided to do was go outside, and this was like 3 years ago. She went outside of Twitter HQ and did like a little protest, and then proceeded to handcuff herself to Twitter HQ and put a Star of David on herself. Why? Because she was banned for Twitter for making bigoted comments like, we need a non-Muslim Uber service where Muslims are banned.
It's incredible. You shut me down on Twitter, and now Twitter is still trying to steal my tweets and censor my speech in real life. That's my sign too. Does somebody want to pick up that sign and show everybody what it says?
I have her permission.
That's my property, sir. This is a human rights issue. And it's egregious that the NYPD is standing here trying to protect a Jew hater, Louis Farrakhan, you know? And you're not going to listen to this. You know, this is an abomination that here in America,
By the way, the problem with her protest is she did handcuff herself to the door, but she handcuffed herself to one of the doors. So people would just open the other door and then just walk inside because they didn't block her.
New York City, where, you know, we had the World Trade Center attack. Muslims killed 3,000 people here on 9/11. On October 31st of last year, a terrorist used...
By the way, can we talk about that type of speech when people say Muslims killed da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? And they're like, well, no, I'm just saying what's factually true. Okay. Then can we do, like, every time, like, something like that? It would be like, a white man blew up government buildings in a terror attack. Timothy McVeigh, white man extraordinaire. Like, open up everything like that. Like, just open up with describing characteristics.
Car, he was a driver for Uber, and he killed 8 people. And I don't understand it. I thought people in America learned their lesson about the implications Sharia law has on 9/11 here in this city. But now Twitter, they want to help enforce...
Wait, is she arguing that her getting banned from Twitter is Sharia law? Oh man, she is a bright one.
Sharia in Silicon Valley by silencing Jews like myself, silencing Jewish conservatives like myself, while they protect vile Jews.
By the way, to be clear, she was not banned for being Jewish. She was banned for being anti-Muslim.
Jew haters like Louis Farrakhan. How come that is not hate speech?
Well, honestly, every time I hear someone say, like, I'm banned, but so-and-so isn't, this Taliban fighter or the leader of these Iranian politicians or Louis Farrakhan isn't, all that tells me is, damn, you telling me you broke the terms of service worse than Louis Farrakhan, a fucking, like, notorious anti-Semite? You broke the terms of service worse than a fucking Taliban fighter. Holy shit, that's terrible.
How come that is allowed on Twitter? I want to know why that is allowed on Twitter, but my tweet, and you can show them, how come that tweet got me banned? I want to know. I want to know why in the year 2018 here in America, the land of the free, where we supposedly have free speech, why a Jewish journalist is not allowed to be on Facebook or Twitter simply because they report the truth about Sharia law.
To be clear, she called for a driver's service that had no Muslims. She was just calling for religious, like, discrimination.
I want to know.
Like, can we look up exactly what she said before we read her update? Loomer Wikipedia. Let's just get her Wikipedia out. And we'll go down here. She also ran for Congress and lost badly. In 2017, a day after a terrorist attack, Loomer tweeted that she was late to a conference because she could not find a non-Muslim cab or Uber / Lyft driver. 2018, she disrupted a congressional campaign event for Ilhan Omar. Loomer shouted questions that implied that Tlaib was an anti-Semite. Loomer, she was banned for a tweet about Omar in which Loomer called her anti-Jewish and a member of a religion in which homosexuals are oppressed and women are abused and forced to wear hijabs. And then she put on like a yellow Jude patch. Anyway, so yeah. It wasn't that she was banned for telling the truth. She was banned for specifically calling for anti-Muslim discrimination.
I want to know why Silicon Valley is giving a pass to groups like Hamas.
Anyway, this is what she did, right? Now, let me ask you guys, how much of an impact do you think this realistically had, right? Quick question for chat. Put your answers in chat. How much of an impact do you think this had on Twitter? I need to hear your answers. Well, apparently, it caused the CEO of Twitter to step down. Yep. According to Laura Loomer, she implied heavily that part of the reason Jack Dorsey stepped down as CEO of Twitter was due to this protest. 3 years ago today, I handcuffed myself to Twitter headquarters, where I called Jack Dorsey to be removed from Twitter for his censorship of conservatives, and I trended #1 on Twitter in the world. 3 years later, exactly, Jack Dorsey announced he's stepping down from his role as CEO of Twitter. She thinks she's the main character of a video game. She lives in like an alternate reality. Where she's the main character and everyone else is an NPC, and everything that happens in the world is because of her and her amazing everything. She's the main character of the extended Loomerverse. Exactly. Holy shit. Anyway, I thought this was funny that she's implying just scraping the bottom of the barrel for W's as she lost her congressional campaign and is a laughingstock to most people because this is the type of stuff she gets involved in.
And the Muslim Brotherhood, CARE, designated Islamic terrorist organizations who all have Twitter and Facebook pages.
Anyway, here's the next thing I wanted to talk about. Elijah Schaffer, well-known Blaze commentator, well-known being generous, of course, said that they took the Christ out of Christmas and turned it gay. And then post a picture of a brown nutcracker with rainbows. With gay rainbows. This is the state of Christmas. Now, everybody knows I'm a Christmas file. I love Christmas. I love the holidays. I love Christmas music. I like the winter time. I like snow. I like everything about it, right? Now, there is one thing I would like to bring up in this analysis, okay? Now, he does acknowledge that, of course, nutcrackers like nuts in their mouth, so I don't know how this is a surprise on one thing. Okay, that's the first thing. Number 2, this is a nutcracker. It's a nutcracker. It's not Jesus. Nutcrackers have never been about Jesus. They've been about Christmas and the holiday and festivities, but there was no nutcrackers in the Bible. A nutcracker was not crucified next to Jesus Christ. A nutcracker was not next to the burning bush. A nutcracker was not located at Sodom or Gomorrah. A nutcracker was not here at the conception of earth. They were not with Adam and Eve. A nutcracker did not help Cain kill Abel. A nutcracker was not involved in any of said biblical activities. They were not on Noah's Ark. A nutcracker is a modern invention of people for the festivities. The same thing about the Christmas tree. In fact, many of the festivities that we celebrate for the Christmas time, if we're talking about the Christ in Christmas, right, are pagan. And so, if your issue is making sure that Christmas is only about Christ, then there are a lot of holidays, a lot of festivities that we do around Christmas. Whether it has to do with tinsel, whether it has to do with presents, whether it has to do with the Christmas tree, whether it has to do with Christmas movies, whether it has to do with eggnog or leaving cookies and milk or Santa Claus or any of these things. All of these things literally have basically nothing to do with Jesus other than the fact that they are connected through a holiday. So I am hesitant to pop Elijah's bubble, but I am sad to say that this nutcracker is not in fact Jesus Christ. It is a nutcracker. Wait, is this true? Let me look at the replies quick. The guy who wrote the ballot that this is based off of was a super gay dude. In one and never before published Russian or English, he wrote of a young servant, which whom I am in more love than ever, adding, "My God, what an angelic creature, and how I long to be his slave, his plaything, his oh shit. Wow. Well, you know where this guy would stand on the Kink at Pride Discord. Jesus.